Hey everyone, it is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and I have a design team project for the Scrap Room. And today I am playing along with the Freaky Fast Friday. And so the formula for October, the first piece is a 3.5 by 2. And I'm looking at this paper, and you have all of these tickets, and I am going to find one that's pretty close. It's actually going to be these two right here to kind of equal that 3.5 by 2, which I will cut in half and use both of them as tickets. So definitely encourage you to do this for that particular cut. And then I'm trying to decide what I want for my other cuts. So I need 3 more cuts, and I need a 3.5 by 7, a 9 by 5, and a 2 by 8.5. So all kind of like strips worth, right? So I'm going to decide on this stripe paper, and then I am also going to go with this piece, which is the other side of the ticket paper, and I'm going to cut a strip there because they're pretty much all strips, just in different lengths. And then I think I'm going to, yeah, I'm definitely flipping things over to see which one am I using. And I'm looking at my photo and I'm trying to decide, okay, is there a certain one I want to use for my matting of my photo? I'm not really sure. So I end up going with the leaves. So, and that the other side of that leaf paper is the stripes. So I am going to use the cardstock that comes in the kit, and I'm going to mat a piece of white cardstock on there. And here I'm going to gut it. I do like to gut the paper that I frame my layout with, mainly because I tend to, a lot of the time, actually mat my photo with the same one. So that is what I will do as well. So it just brings the back to the front, which is important to me. So you can see here I've gutted it, and I'm going to take that piece that I've gutted and I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to mat the photo. So here is that. And then of course I made my mat a little too big on one side, so I'm going to trim that down. I have to trim down my white cardstock, and I think I'm doing 3/4 of an inch on 2 sides. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rough up those edges, and then I believe I will rough up the edges on all of the pieces. And when I was playing with this kit, I was just like in the groove. So a lot of the time when I am making a layout, if I'm going to rough up the edges of all of the papers, I tend to actually cut that out. Because if you've seen me do it once, you've seen me do it a million times, kind of thing. So the scuffer that I have is an old Close to My Heart one. I don't even know where I got it because I never really bought anything from them. So, but you can use your scissors, or you could even use like a nail file, and that would rough up the edges of that as well. So I'm gonna rough up the edges of this mat, and when I do that, it's actually going to show that white core even more. And so I decided I would actually rough up the edges of my mat, which I don't usually do. Usually it's everything that's inside the layout, but I decided to add that little bit of texture and color to the outside as well. So now I've got all 4 of my pieces, and I'm trying to decide how I want to place them. So of course, you can very easily stack them up to the side, stack them up to the top, down in the center. So I kind of took a little bit of time to kind of show you a couple of different options that I was thinking of. And when I was getting ready to switch from a side, from a vertical to a horizontal layout, I realized I think this would actually look pretty cute all on the diagonal, except for the photo. I wanted to keep the photo straight in the center. So I am going to take those tickets. I'm going to rough those up, and those are going to go on the side. This is our family selfie in Grand Central. And so I figured the tickets work pretty well. So I'm going to pull out the bits and pieces that I got in the flavors of the month. And I do also have the rub-ons from the embellishment kit as well. So the foam title that I got is Grateful, and I figure that works really well. I'm going to use that as my title. And it came with all kinds of hearts. And so I know I want to use those separately. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut those off so I can scatter them about kind of as you see now. So my title is going to be Grateful, Better Together. And then because I have this white cardstock as my background, it's a perfect opportunity to take some of these rub-ons. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I am using the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze collection. So I'm just going to take a couple of these rub-ons. I'm going to scatter them about, and then I will not make you watch me rub those on. They come off beautifully, but sometimes I get a little aggressive with my rub-ons and it shakes my table, and I didn't want you guys to have to watch me shaking my table. So I got those down, and then I'm just adding a couple of the other bits and pieces that I got from my kit. Everybody's is a little bit different. And I added that pumpkin down there because it is Thanksgiving time. Added a couple of hearts and some florals. And I'm going to finish it off with some spray from my stash. I believe this is coffee from Tattered Angels. Super old. Been in my stash for many, many years. So I'm just going to go ahead, and I decided to add splatters everywhere. And I just covered up my photo because I didn't want coffee splatters on our faces. And that is a final look at this layout. So I hope this inspired you, gave you several different options for using the Freaky Fast Friday formula. And I hope that you take a chance and give it a try too. So here is a final look at my layout. I will have a link for the scrap room down below so you can get your hands on these amazing kits. And that's going to do it for me today. So remember to wear your crown. Bye.